How's it? Today is Wednesday, July 8th, and I just did a clean and jerk workout today. Kind of, again, like real easy, like how I've been doing for my snatches earlier in the week. So today was just kind of heavier on the power jerks, but easier with the power clean and the hang power clean. Also easier on the clean remaining deadlifts that I did later. So today was a goal of 235 for a few doubles. So I chose three doubles at 235 for the power jerk. Warming up, these felt really nice, really smooth, really quick. Positions were pretty okay. But as I got to my heavier weights, re-racking this onto my front rack didn't feel good. I felt it in my upper back. That's to be expected. This is kind of the area in my lifting where the blocks would help the most. But as you can see, I'm training at the gym Maui, and they don't have a set of blocks like the one I have at home. So I made do with what I had. So here's my first set at 235. I think this was the best set I did, even though, yeah, so you see there, the little step forward, it kind of tilted my shoulders forward, and that doesn't feel too good. And then my phone started, I guess it was overheating, so it couldn't video, and that was irritating. So I don't really have any solution for that. So I was waiting. It seems to happen only on Wednesdays where I kind of have a technical malfunction. Here's my final set. This first rep was better than probably the other ones. However, the second rep was a stretch. It was a reach for sure. So I split my feet a lot wider than I would have otherwise. And yeah, that will conclude the power jerks. And then I moved into the power clean plus hang clean. So last week I was doing, I think, just power cleans, power clean singles. But given how bad I've been feeling, or I guess how weak I was feeling last week Friday, Steve wanted to kind of lower the intensity and give me a different complex to work on. So it's the hang, power clean plus hang power clean, and up to 200. So 200 is a very, very light weight. It's a weight that I don't even have to think about for either of those lifts, for the hang and the power and the hang. I'm not sure if I mentioned it earlier. I don't think I did, but these yellow plates are 15 pounds. So this here is 175, and it was really hard to count. But yeah, 175 on the yellow, or on this bar here. So one thing I'm thinking about for these hang power cleans is keeping that same idea for the hang snatches, where my knees go a little bit further forward, and I use my leg drive. That one wasn't a great example, but I use my leg drive a little bit more so that I can get a little bit more height on the bar, so the bar's more vertical. Here's my first top set at 200. Again, these are all really light, and I had no issues with them. I think towards the end of it, I was trying to catch it as high as I could with as little bent knees. So here's one of those examples. So that one was a little bit better on that forward shin angle, so that means a further knee bend. I think that once I can figure out how that works and like how to make it second nature, my lifts will get significantly better, because even though I think my bar path is pretty good, my bar path is kind of cheated by the way I turn over my arms and my wrists, my wrists, my elbows, my arms, and then my shoulder. But if I can get a straighter bar path through extension, then I think that'll be a more consistent way to lift. So here's my final set. Yeah, so that one might have been one of the better for the hang powers. So after that, I moved into some clean deadlifts. This was a little bit heavier than last week, but I think this one was better than last week. The positions and maybe even the speed, but that remains to be seen. So we'll take a look at that. So here's 275 as one of my warm-ups, and then I go to 315, I believe. Yep. And so anything above 300, Steve was saying to just throw on the belt because it doesn't really affect my positioning as well. Like even on the clean, I do use my belt. This isn't the belt I normally use, but I do use all belt. So here's the 330. So positionally, that was pretty good. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with how these felt today. I didn't feel as weak as I felt last week. Third rep was a little bit slower than the first two, but the first two were pretty good. And the third rep was positionally fine. So I moved into some clean Romanian deadlifts with a shrug at the top. Last week I was doing, I think, 205 for 6 sets of 5, and Steve mentioned to go a little bit lower today and do one less set, so 5 sets of 5 at 185. And then I moved into more kind of upper body accessories with just the barbell bent over rows. These are usually I usually do 5 reps, but he said try to push it to 3 reps today to see if I can do heavier rows. So 185 is the weight that I've been doing for 5s, but today I end up doing 205 for 3. I'm not super happy with how these looked, but I'm also not too disappointed and too unhappy. And then I do 2 sets of 20, which is just really extremely high reps to finish off as my back offset to get the pump going through my muscles. And then after that, I went over to dumbbells and I found a 90-pound dumbbell and I started doing the dumbbell overhead walks. 90 pounds, for future reference, is too light for my conditioning now. At school, I think my best was 95, but I am positive I could have done 100 today for 3 sets of 100 steps. I didn't want to overshoot it and then fail, so I decided to do 90. At home, I've been using 80 because I can't really load the plates onto that small dumbbell. But yeah, that's it for today. Shoots.